Now it's time for more literary choices in Book Review. Unfortunately, Sarah Hunter Carson can't be with us this month, but taking her place is a very familiar face to Estuary TV viewers. Thank you for stepping into Sarah's shoes, Hugh.
Thank you very much, Ted. Luckily she wears size 10s. First of all, some history. Napoleon Bonaparte stuck his hand in his waistcoat and said, "Not tonight, Josephine." He also conquered much of Europe, insisted by force that his subject peoples enjoyed democracy and civil rights, equality before the law, the abolition of torture, rights for women, and a largely meritocratic economy. His métier was warfare, so benevolent as he often was, he could only govern as a military dictator. Adam Zamoyski's biography, Napoleon, the Man Behind the Myth, reveals an emperor as neither liberal crusader nor cruel tyrant. Napoleon studied and admired the greatest soldiers of the past, Caesar and Alexander, Charlemagne, and his own hero of Republican violence, Oliver Cromwell. Unlike them, he lost. A supreme battlefield tactician, his disastrous strategies of closed trade and the invasion of Russia proved him, ultimately, a poor master of military and political vision. Zamoyski describes an intelligent, benevolent statesman, certainly an opportunist, but no evil genius. And the commander of the armed wing of enlightened liberalism, we must consider at least that he might have been the goody at Waterloo. Political intrigue now. A member of Parliament dies in mysterious circumstances. His friend, an old, boozy, cantankerous journalist, is unsatisfied by official explanations of a sex game gone wrong. And perhaps I'm innocent, but what sort of game could that be? A burglary only encourages our hero hack, who, in defiance of the British authorities, discovers the dead politician's research into the similar deaths of prominent Russians. He calls on friends in Moscow to reveal a world of conspiracy, deceit, and assassination. Such is the plot of Moscow Midnight, the new novel by John Simpson. Simpson should know what he's talking about after a long career as a political and foreign correspondent for the BBC. He describes the British state with alarming insight. His knowledge of post-Soviet Russia, oligarchs, corruption, orthodoxy, and autocracy must be a revelation of his real-life observations, insights that he couldn't quite report as an objective, evidence-based journalist. And his characterization of journalists, grumpy, unhealthy, miserable, fat and drunk, is practically a documentary. And The Church, a field guide to the English clergy, describes itself as a compendium of diverse eccentrics, pirates, prelates and adventurers, all Anglican, some even practicing. That's an interesting title, and these interesting clergymen, all men, make the Church of England seem a safe haven for the eccentric, the heretical and the dog-collar barking mad. Its author, Fergus Butler-Gallie, is a priest of the C of E and an observant student of his fellows from the 17th century to the 20th. Although he's not quite up to date enough to record the idiosyncrasies of the women clergy. He offers remarkable tales from the parsonage and the bishop's palace. Vicars who dressed as mermaids, rectors who excommunicated cats from mousing on the Sabbath, bishops who commandeered Royal Navy helicopters, clergymen who did the shopping in red high heels beneath the cassock, parsons who were dressed in leopard skin and carried around in a coffin, and priests who would believe anything as long as it was not in the Bible. They say the Church of England is a fine institution, but always embarrassed by the religious bits. It might have one or two other reasons for a red face. Math with Bad Drawings is an illustrated book about mathematics by Ben Orlin. You can tell that Ben Orlin is an American. If he were English, he would know that his subject is maths with an S. Such promise in America, and yet so often so disappointing. He tries to answer the questions, why must we learn maths? When will we use it? And why is it so hard? To which I would humbly submit the answers, because the purpose of education is to waste the time of the useless young, because we use it every day when we look at a clock, and it really isn't that hard. Nevertheless, I can't help wondering why I was made to love and solve simultaneous equations as a browbeaten teenager. Perhaps it satisfies the intellectual curiosity of those uninterested in humanity. Orlin's book is entertaining, covering statistics, the fine art of honest lying, design, the geometry of stuff that works, and probability, the mathematics of maybe. And the drawings are quite bad.